It's in me, and I'm thinking I can do this. I'm shocked as you are. I was thinking, so every journey was an eye opener. I've got this talent. I can write music. I can write music. You know what I mean? Hey man, Kambali. Hey.
This CTA is so fire.
What?
Let me tell you, we are having behind the scenes conversations. I'm like, stop! Demaza! We have to have this one on camera. The cameraman, my team from it. First of all, Jimmy, you understand the importance of camera, guys.
Yes.
Yani, without these guys, I would not be able to do this.
Amen.
You can see the ease and the calm that I have.
Yeah.
So give them your money, but don't take them away from CTA. Henry Wamai and Isaac Nyakora, amazing human beings.
Well
but links in bio and just find them on socials. Number 2. Audience, I read every single comment, even the ones where guys hate and say I'm always interrupting. The reason why I interrupt is because of things like this.
You make Jimmy stay here.
Yes, just say buka hapa. But on top of that, unaona hii mug? Guys told me, how can you just be drinking from other people's things? Get your own brand. There's a guy who's really been stressing me about that, and I've listened.
Can I go? I love this.
And I've listened. So as usual, slam it. Check out the WhatsApp description if you want any of the CTA merchandise. You buying the merchandise enables and finances us to do these shows. It's not free. There's food here. Jimmy has to eat. There's water, anything, and a lunch bado hata. Lunch itakam, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
but
nimesema hakuna kitu kingine nafanya.
This story is too hot. So where are we in the story? This guy has shocked me because he's brought up a thing that I didn't even throw in the intro, which was theater.
Yeah.
Theater. I didn't know that he was this involved in theater. He's also talked about this band that he's joined. But before
started,
not even joined. There's this Balamwezi.
It's still there.
I want you to break it down for me.
Okay.
So that now and also brand Jimmy has come to life.
Yes.
Jimmi.
The beginning. Yes.
This is the birth of it.
Yes.
So let's take it from
Balamwezi, yeah.
Yes.
So Peter Mudamba, Eliud Abuto, who were still members then, now Ken Musumba were revamping Balamwezi then, and to them, when they approached me, Charles Carrier, George Mungai, Cyrus, and other members, is they were looking for young blood.
So they wanted you guys to take the baton.
Yes.
They were passing the baton.
Exactly. And so, because there were even plays that they had done before that we redid it together now with, and they casted us young guys. And this is something, so I didn't know. So, so when we were rehearsing, when we were auditioning for She Ate the Female Cassava, Mudamba said, "Have you acted before?" I said, "No." "Were you in drama club?" I said, "No." "Why did you love to act?" I said, "I love to watch movies." And I didn't join the drama club because I didn't like that type of acting. Just kind of find it was a bit funny. So yeah. And so I was cast for She Ate the Female Cassava, and my journey in theater started there. And
you were even saying off screen, you can't remember amount of.
I can't remember. In fact, it's people who remind me. I saw you in a play called. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, because imagine. So here's the thing, So there was the writer Jimmy Gathu who gave me and then there was Mwangi Gathu who used to write. I don't know if he still writes. Mwangi Gathu used to write the theater columns in the newspaper, and he then. Every time I would do a play, would call it Jimmy. Remember, Mwangi Gathu and knew Jimmy Gathu, but didn't know about this conversation with Jimmy and I. But for some strange reason, Mwangi Gathu kept spelling my name Jimmi.
Whoa!
And that was the first time. I wasn't told that I disappointed my father.
Famo came to watch,
and they were like, "Wow!"
Affirmation. The thing you've been looking for.
Not validation, affirmation.
Oh.
And so, to this day, it was and still is a place where I go and hide. It is still the only thing, theater and radio presentation or television, that no one can do what I do.
This is insane.
Yeah, and it's a long story. So
We have time anyway.
and so when we formed the band,
Impulse.
yes,
Yes.
So Mbalamozi continued.
So you did become a one of the guys.
Yeah, we even won an award. I mean, so Mudamba and Musumba and Butu were very clear. We are handing over. I mean, we want this thing to be run by new blood, fresh ideas, new acting, new styles of acting.
Jimmy, how powerful is that?
It's crazy.
No, like that is the thing that lacks the passing of the baton in today's gen.
Yes, for example, and that also even for me. If I ever do get the opportunity to own a media house, because that has become innate in me, I build brands because I was given that opportunity and became me. I would not have gotten out of my kahol where I wouldn't have if somebody had not said Jimmy Chomoka Bushika, and you know.
Yes.
And so it became my passion. So even though not sometimes, all the time, I did it because I'm like, this guy can't go through what I went through. This musician, because as a musician, and I'll tell you about it, it was tough.
It was tough.
Getting our music on radio in the 90s, you had to pay 500 bob.
What?
In the 90s, in the early 90s. For us to get equipment to perform, and thank God for one Dennis Kashero, who was a commandant for the Administration Police Training College. But Dennis was like, but you have to get here. The road those days in Nyayo Estate used to end at Nyayo Estate. From there to the bush.
Yep.
I used to walk 2 hours to administration because it's a bush. But the bush with some type of wild animals.
Yes.
To Administration Police College, book the equipment, then walk back 2 hours to get MR3, to go get transport or to rehearse, then organize for transport for you to boss. I'm like, guys can't go through this, man. Not when I have, And so my journey in building brands, nameless, Juakali, Nonini, started from there.
Okay, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
So now, you then, from this theater, you then now become Impulse.
So no, as Impulse, we were part because we even by goodness. So when we became Mbalamozi, we formed Impulse, and we wrote the first musical play, local musical play called Cry Not. And George and I are thinking of redoing it again, because it was never be done again after that. Music written by me, George Mungai.
So you're writing, and this talent is in you.
It's in me, and I'm thinking I can do this. I'm shocked as you are. I was thinking, so every journey was an eye opener. I've got this talent. I can write music. You know what I mean? And then, so George and I were like, man, this Kenyan music, man, not doing it for us.
It wasn't sounding like what you're listening to.
No.
There's an Alexander O'Neal that you had performed, Babyface.
I want to
Teddy Riley.
I want music to sound like that, but I want it to be Kenyan. And so we started our own fusion. And our music style gave birth to what you're hearing now.
Okay, but it's all live.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you are...
We recorded. Remind me, and you can play it sometime.
Bro, we have to talk about your first one. You can't just say we recorded.
So we recorded but didn't release it.
Place.
We didn't release it. But it was when we were performing.
So, but even before recording. So when you're performing, who's the instrumentalist? You're the drummer?
Drum, George's keyboards. My brother Simon is also a keyboard player. Nyosh Gathu.
Yes.
So Charles and I are the choreographers. We had female musicians, singers as well. It was a full band.
It was a full band.
Yeah, and then came Five Alive. And and Eric Wanana, you correct me if I'm wrong, so a lot of Five Alive's choreography was done by Impulse.
What?
Because we used to work together, we used to rehearse together, we used to perform together in some certain concerts. So we exchanged a lot of their vocal prowess, because they have very good vocals. We learned from that. We learned from them.
They
and our
took your-
dancing routines,
They took from you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's then talk about this impulse thing. So, basically this is your introduction into the music
Into the music industry.
Tell me about it. Where you performing?
So we're performing at African Heritage. We're performing at the Carnival. We're performing at Libra House. It used to be, so African Heritage had a section, had a branch at
Yes.
Libra House called African Heritage.
Yes.
And in comes Suzanne Gashukia, and then now called Suzanne Kiboko, and her
yes.
husband, who, again, I stand on the shoulders of giants. If it wasn't for Suzanne Kibukosia and her then husband Guido Kibukosia, Impulse would not have been known. Because so Suzanne were like, okay, now we need to pull artists, we need to promote new acts. And they had seen us perform at the National Theatre. So they invited us for this Libra House concert or a gig. And there we were. And they encouraged us. Guido Kwanzaa.
Is Libra House the one where Barclays Plaza was? It's not.
No, Libra House on Mombasa Road.
Oh!
Mombasa Road. What is it?
Yeah, okay.
And Suzanne and Guido encouraged us. Like, guys, we are handing over the baton to you, man. So they're like, yes, so encourage us to the fusion. We're like, these are kind of music. They listen, like, oh my God, this is crazy.
So your fusion was between.
So we did a lot of, and we wish we could do it, but I don't know, now music has changed. But we used to take traditional music. We had a lot of traditional songs.
Yeah.
Kikuyu, Luo, Luya, Chakacha, which
Yes.
we're best known for, and just make them sound like it's Babyface who wrote them. But you still hear tradition, like, Chakacha. But you hear any.
You are the first version of Afrofusion.
Yeah. So it's a different, I wish I could do it. Yeah, and so there we were.
What? Can you remember the first time then in studio? So you're being called by these places, Carnival, to perform.
So out of that, because Suzanne and Guido had a studio.
Samawati.
Yes. And they had this guy sing. They're like, this boy can sing, man. I started doing commercials.
Yes. Because them, they had a lot of commercial work.
Yeah. And I remember.
Bro, you could really sing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Please remember, at this time, yes, I'm like, wow, I can sing. But it still means to an end. Because I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. So, and I remember, when I think about it, my God, Esther, you're amazing. Suzanne and Guido, at some point, were almost like my big brothers and sisters. And I remember, because I was beginning now to make money, I was working for KTN. I haven't even talked about my Matatu song, which got me to KTN.
Din, 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 din.
Yeah. So this was where. Bro, okay, can I go back? Okay.
So, what do you mean, can you go back?
So from Impulse, from the musical we wrote called Cry Not,